Will I?
Yeah, Akhil, are you here? So no issues. There's some kind of internet connectivity issues with Akhil. So let's start the session without any further delay. So welcome. I'll welcome all of you to Azure Developer Community Channel. And today we have with us Mr. Akash Malreddy sir, who will be taking the session forward for the topic GitHub, open source and GitHub. So this is one of the very trending topic, and I believe this is the topic which each and every developer must know about, because it's important from every perspective, whether it be your open source journey or your placement wise, because whenever you go there you need to show the projects which you have made and the projects you can make, and you just can showcase them on the platform known as GitHub to the world and create the repositories and all. Don't worry about the terms I'm using here. The sir is here to give you a very brief introduction about each and everything. So thank you very much, sir.
Varun, actually, you are on mute.
So from where did I go mute?
Like, let us welcome something like that.
Yeah. Let us welcome sir and let's start with the session without any further delay. And you all, it's going to be a very interesting session. So over to you, sir. Thank you very much. Sorry, guys, for the technical glitches happening. I'm very sorry.
Yeah. Hello, everyone. Hello, guys. This is Akash Malareddy. So, like currently I'm working as a cloud engineering analyst in CS INC Mumbai. So I'll be today discussing about GitHub basics as well as open source and how to start your journey in open source. Let me share my screen first. Uh, we have we have slides. So yeah, I hope my screen is visible to all of you guys. So let me keep it in the slide share mode. Uh, yeah, done. So, welcome everyone, guys. Welcome to the session on open source and GitHub basics. So, let us start with the term open source. What actually is the open source? Open source is a generally denotes as a psychology or philosophy or methodology that promotes free redistribution of software. For example, let us take a Windows OS, for example, Windows 10, Windows 8, etc., etc. And you people need to buy Windows licenses. But let us take Linux or Ubuntu. It is open source. You can download, you can share it with your friends, you can easily update everything. What else? You can do everything for free in Linux. So in this case, what happening is open source is a methodology that promotes free distribution and access to the products or designs or ideas, everything, which unlimited access. You can share with unlimited, people. You can share with your colleagues. You can use them multiple times, etc., etc. And now coming to closed source. What actually is closed source? So closed source is a hidden to prevent the user either viewing or changing the code. For example, let us take the Windows OS example. So we cannot see the Windows OS backend code. We cannot edit the code. We cannot change or we cannot share the R license to other people. So it is called closed source. There are so many examples. For example, Mac OS, iOS, everything. All Apple products are closed source. And to get more clarity, I had included one diagram about how open source actually works. So you can see here, a developer will write a source code, like any random developer in the world writes a source code and he tests it and he puts it over the GitHub or other open source platforms where other fellow developers, for example, I am from India. Some person from USA had developed one source code regarding one Web3, like one blockchain project. So I can access his code for free. I can clone it. Cloning means copying his code. I can download his code for free. I can rewrite the code. Like I can improve the source code and I can again push it to him using the GitHub or other sources. So through this process, there are n number of developers out there in the world who are supporting open source, who are contributing to open source. They will rewrite the present source code, and using the GitHub or other platforms, we'll get vastly improved source code. This fixes the security glitches. This can improve more features. This can add more graphics, etc. And what are the technologies? What are the, like, we know so many technologies in our day to day life, but we don't know that particular technology is an open source technology. For example, you can, everyone in the India basically knows Python. Most of the people knows Python, but Python, PHP, MySQL, Linux OS, Android OS are our language. All these technologies are open source technologies. And why, what are the values of open source? Why people are going crazy about open source? What is the speciality in open source? So by using this open source, we'll get freedom to view the code. We'll get the freedom to edit the code. We'll get freedom to download the code. And transparency, there is no hidden scams or something like that. There is no hidden like cost. When you download something, there is no hidden cost. Extensibility, for example, if you are if you loved one project and you downloaded it and you thought of improvising it a little bit, so that the output will be more flexible as well as more stable. So it improves the extensibility, and it increases the collaboration. When you are working in an open source project, you can collaborate with anyone in the world, random persons in the world. And innovation, by rewriting the code, by thinking about new ideas, the innovation comes into the picture. Most of the open source projects today are made out of innovation, new innovative ideas. And you might have a good picture about open source now, but how to grab these opportunities, how to start your life in open source, what all technologies you need to learn, what all ways you can involve in open source. There are I'm listing 5 major open source opportunities which are very famous across the world, not only in India, across the world, which were very famous. So let us go into them. One, DigitalOcean Hacktoberfest. By seeing the name itself, you'll get to understand that Hacktoberfest is symbolically refers to October, Hacktober, October. So this is a one of the biggest open source program that is hosted by DigitalOcean, and it is open for everyone across the world. Here you need to submit 4 or more quality pull requests. So remember the word pull request. We'll speak it in the later part of the session. You need to submit 4 quality pull requests. You will be getting a T-shirt, or you will be getting a chance. They'll plant a tree on behalf of you if you have done 4 quality pull requests. And this program actually is for beginners, intermediate people, as well as for experts also. This is the best program for beginners. You can go to different projects in GitHub or GitLab. You can there will be some points listed there. They need this and some features added. They need some external graphics added. All these things you can see, and you can clone their code. You can add those changes, and you can raise a pull request. I'll show it practically in the later part of the session. And you can contribute in n number of projects in DigitalOcean Hacktoberfest. Next, Google Summer of Code. This is one of the major, important, and famous trending thing. By seeing Google Summer of Code only, so many companies came up with their own summer of codes. People are keeping, like, for example, let us assume Akash Malareddy is one company. So by inspiring from Google Summer of Code, I'll keep Akash Malareddy Summer of Code. So there are n number of these kind of programs who are inspired from Google Summer of Code. So Google Summer of Code program is a program started by Google and has completed 16 plus years. 16 plus years. It is a program that aims to promote open source software development among university students. It is only for the university students. That means college students. There are few organizations. that means companies, private companies, and these organizations have mentors. First, the organizations apply to the Google that they have some projects. After that, Google will open the opportunity to students to write the proposals to that organization. If any of the organization writes your proposal, you can you will get a chance to be part of Google Summer of Code, as well as you can work under the mentor of the organization. And it is not a free wala thing. People who successfully completed Google Summer of Code will get 1500 US dollars. And major league hacking, it is one of my favorite open source thing. Major league hacking, generally founded in 2013, it is more than 9 years as of now. It is a global community of student developers. MLH refers to major league hacking. Recently launched a program as MLH fellowship, which is a 12 weeks, that means 3 months remote program where students collaborate on open source projects that align to their personal interests. For example, I am interested in machine learning, so I'll be aligned in machine learning programs. My friend is interested in blockchain, he'll be aligned in blockchain projects, etc. So it has mainly three tracks: software engineering, open source, and product engineering. If you choose open source, you will have the access to work with different organization on different projects in the open source. So there is an eligibility criteria also for major league hacking. And Google season of docs. So what actually this season of docs? It is similar to, everyone might be thinking this might be similar to Google Summer of Code, but it is an entirely different thing, guys. Google season of docs is very useful for the open source community, because there are n number of projects which were developed by different developers in the world. And what is lacking, what is the drawback of that projects are technical documentation. There will be no proper documentation for open source projects basically. But due to the introduction of Google season of code docs, GSOD, you will get a chance to work on different projects. To understand that projects, only a person who understands the project can only write the technical documentation. So however, Google season of docs is a new program by Google where technical writers and open source organizations come together and work on open source projects. The technical writers who got selected will write documentation for the open source projects and will also get paid. And major criteria for this Google season of docs is you need to turn 18 years until you apply. And GirlScript Summer of Code, this is one of my favorite program, which was started by Anuba ma'am. I personally know her actually. She's GirlScript Summer of Code is a 3-month long open source program during summer, conducted by GirlScript Foundation. Anuba Maneshwar is the founder of GirlScript. And this GirlScript Summer of Code had started in 2018. It's been 4 years up to now, with an aim to help beginners, like the basic people who are beginning into open source, get started with open source development while encouraging different diversity. Throughout the program, participants contribute to different projects under the guidance of experienced mentors. And people who are top participants will get exciting goodies as well as good opportunities from different companies. So this is one of the best program a student can get into. Google Summer of Code is very easy. You can get into that program, and there is no eligibility criteria, guys. To get into a open source program, not into GirlScript Summer of Code, you need to must be above 18, as well as you don't need to know everything, every language. You just you can just learn things while doing. I have one of my senior who got into Google Summer of Code. He got selected from my college, and he at the time of his selection, he was good at academics as well as he know few technologies. But after getting into Google Summer of Code, he had learned so many technologies, and worked on new technologies which he doesn't know in college. By doing only he learned everything. And now here comes the question, where we can find this open source projects, where we can find this like opportunities, where we can do this stuff in open source. Before going to that, we need to know one thing about, Git and GitHub. Git and GitHub are two different things, guys. So most of you had known GitHub. This is You can see my screen, I'm presenting GitHub now. So Akhil, is my screen visible? Akhil, can you see my screen?
No, sir, not. I guess it's
Okay,
not visible.
okay. Give me a minute. I'll share it again.
Just reshare the screen, sir. That's it.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I'm resharing the screen. Okay, I'm sharing the entire screen now. Uh, can you see it now, Akhil?
Yes, sir. One second. One second.
Can you see the GitHub page?
Yes, sir.
GitHub
Perfect.
page,
Perfect.
or yeah, GitHub page you can see, right?
Yes, sir. Perfect.
Yeah,
Yes,
right.
sir.
So guys, there is a you are seeing the GitHub UI, user interface, but let us know about Git as well as GitHub then. So what actually is Git? Git is a version control system. So what again is version control system? Let us assume a small use case where two software developers are working on a website, some small website, which is let us assume that they are making a YouTube clone. Similar to YouTube, they are developing a video streaming platform. So there are so many they might write so many lines of code, and they'll for sure get so many errors for every 100 lines or every 10 lines maybe. So although before this version control system, they need to store the files locally or in some place. But when you are writing some code, and you will write some different approaches to that particular solution. For example, I need to create a button called subscribe in YouTube clone project, and one developer writes one type of approach, another developer writes another type of approach. But what happens with these physical without version control system approach is they can't track what are the changes they did on previous day or 10 days before. But with Git, the version control system, it is designed to make easier to have multiple versions of code base. We can easily access, on July 10th 2020, what code I have written, I can access what code I had written 1 hour back, I can access everything is present, yeah, by using this Git. And we can access sometimes across multiple developers or multiple teams as well. And it allows Git actually allows you to see changes you make to your code and easily revert them. You can easily revert back the changes as well. And main important thing is Git is not GitHub. There is so much difference, the difference between car and carpet. So car and carpet are two different things. Similarly, Git and GitHub are two different things. So okay, what is GitHub then? GitHub is a website that hosts Git repositories. Okay, remember the word repositories. Git repositories on a remote server. Remote server. So what is repositories? Repositories are nothing but projects. Different you can see result here. Result is one repository. Like popular repositories in my my profile. Result, deep learning, GitHub, slideshow, everything. Result is one of the popular repository. Repository means project. It says project. And hosting repositories on GitHub facilitates the sharing of code bases among teams. Like you can let us go into result. Result is a web project. A web project. You can see what all languages I had used to develop this result: HTML, CSS, JavaScript, PHP, etc. And I can add people to this repository. For example, one friend of mine is very helping to me. He needs to make some changes to my result code, my result project code. So I'll simply go to settings, I'll add collaborators and add his name and send out the invite to him. So by accepting that invite, same as Facebook, you keep the friend request. If he accepts, you both can view each other's profiles. Similarly, in GitHub also, you go to one repository slash project, which is also known as project, and you invite people. If they accept, they can access your they can access your code. They can do changes, but they cannot add other people into your project. Only you can add other people into project, as well as by publishing repositories, by pushing your repositories to GitHub. By pushing your projects to GitHub, you will pretty much automatically create your own developer portfolio as well. Like when you are working with some company, or most of the companies use GitHub or GitLab for code purposes, for sharing of code, for development purpose, everything. All the software companies are using GitHub or GitLab. GitLab and GitHub are similar, but both are different companies. Uh, let us take OS example. We have multiple OS like Linux OS or Windows OS. Similarly, both are operating systems only. Similarly, GitLab and GitHub are different open source UIs, web UIs, where we can host our repositories. And most important thing is, by using GitHub, a developer can host a static website for free. You can host a static website for free, guys. And as well as you can store the code of a dynamic web page, but you can't host it when you are in GitHub. So you can see different headings here. Code, you can access the code here. Pull request. What actually is pull request means, when a person forks your repository. Fork is nothing but clone, copying your code. When a person forks your repository and do some changes and raises a pull request, that means when he added some stuff into your basic code, if he raises a pull request, then a pull request will be appearing here, so that you can see what all changes he did, and you can compare what all changes are there. What code changes are there from your code to his code. If you like that his approach, you can accept that pull request. So you need to do 4 pull requests to get passed, to get completed in the Hacktoberfest, DigitalOcean's Hacktoberfest. This is pull request. And this is settings. So settings, we have different things: repository name, like a result, and you can see here collaborators option. So my friend Abhinav Chendu as well as Puneet has access to this repository. I can add more people, guys. I can add more people here. So by just typing their name. And GitHub pages, there is one important thing called pages. What does pages means is, by going into pages, we can host a static website for free. Your site is published at https akashmalareddy.github.io/result. Let me open it for you guys. uh, yeah, you can see the output here. So this is the basic template I had downloaded from GitHub only. I had cloned from GitHub only. By using this, this is our first startup project actually. So by using GitHub pages, we can host static web pages, not dynamic. On static means only we can see it, we can't interact with it. But dynamic is a different thing. We can interact with it, everything. And we can even choose customized domain. For example, here it is using github.io, the extension. For example, if I need result.com, I can use custom domain here as well. So these are the different things in GitHub. These are the basic things. And one more important thing is organizations. in GitHub, there are different organizations. For example, let me show here. Akash Mallareddy is one organization. Akash Rao Mallareddy Projects is one organization. IEEE Vardhaman is one organization. Mapping IT Services is another organization. So I have different organizations, guys. So in each organization, I'll store different repositories. This is Akash Rao Projects. Akash Rao Mallareddy Projects repository. Like this is IEEE Vardhaman repository where I can browse organization repositories. So these are the repositories which were present under IEEE Vardhaman student branch organization. So this is the main use case, guys. We can have multiple organizations. In my college life, I used to work in my personal projects. I used to work in general. I used to work in IEEE, etc., etc. So to avoid this mixing of projects, I created different repositories for different things, different organizations for different set of things, where I can host the projects in different organization according to my use case. Let us go into Akash Rao Mallareddy projects. Here I had created few projects in my college days. So these are the few projects I had created in my college days. So all the projects are there in Akash Rao Mallareddy projects. So similarly, if you want to contribute to some uh, uh, some open source project, some open source, you want to download some open source code, just you need to do simple, go like topics slash, and you are interested in machine learning, type it in the search bar, machine learning. So just a second. Yeah, you can find machine learning repositories here. Machine learning. So you can find few machine learning repositories. From this you can you can open any one machine learning repository, like code, and you can find all modules here, etc., etc. You can like generally what people, other open source people do is they'll write what are all their needs, so that according to that we can actually clone that repository, as well as we can work on it. Or else if you there are n number of projects, free projects in online, like a portfolio website, like other a YouTube clone website, Netflix clone website, all that code will be in here only. Again, let me uh, click blockchain. Let me search for blockchain. So you have 124k repositories on blockchain. 124k repositories means it's more than a lakh projects are there in blockchain. You can go, you can I'm clicking this. If you want to learn something also, GitHub is the base. You can learn anything by typing its name, blockchain guide. So by this is in Chinese actually, but let us go inside. So let us check one more thing, like, yeah, which was in English. So there are so many set of codes here, like a brief survey of cryptocurrency, a decentralized noise pollution. So there are so many projects in this one repository. In this one repository, each folder is a new thing, each folder is a new thing. You can find so many things, like so many code. Blockchain and cryptocurrency library, this is this repository basically is. Here you can find all the blockchain books, all the publications which were present on blockchain, etc. Similarly, you can learn any skill for free using blockchain, using GitHub. GitHub is a completely open source which doesn't ask you for paying some money or something. And there are so many benefits with GitHub also. You can apply for a campus, GitHub global campus. You can apply for GitHub student pack. In student pack you will get more than like 50 to 60 benefits. You will get Canva Pro account for free. You will get dot tech domains for free for 1 year, etc., etc. There are so many domains, users using GitHub, education student pack, GitHub student pack, which is only for students of different any college. You need to just verify with your, you need to have one GitHub account. You need to verify it with your college email ID. For example, my college email ID is akash.mallareddy@vardhaman.org. By using that organization email ID, you need to just verify the things, so that we can easily get the GitHub student pack in a couple of days or to 1 month. It takes time nowadays because lots of people are applying for GitHub student pack, and you have n number of users, guys. Let me type GitHub student developer pack. GitHub student developer pack. So you can find it in, you can directly search GitHub student pack. You will get directly get the things. The main requirement is you need to just have the, you need to just have the things like GitHub account as well as your organization like email ID. And these are all the offers, guys. You will be getting Canva Pro for free. You will be getting a domain in the Namecheap website for 1 year for free. You will be getting Microsoft Azure with no credit card required. This is the amazing offer, guys. You can explore Microsoft Azure, plus you will get 100 Microsoft Azure credits with no credit card. Generally, Microsoft Azure or Google Cloud Platform generally asks for credit card for giving these free credits. But using the GitHub Student Pack, you will get them for free, and you will get JetBrains ID for free, and you will get $100 credit in DigitalOcean platform. You will get name.com, you will get some best in class domains, email and hosting for free. And there are so many .tech domains, GitHub pages, and GitHub, like GitHub desktop. So many these stream. You can even get StreamYard, and you can apply for GitHub campus expert. There will be one campus expert for few colleges, and you will get New Relic, Arduino education. So there are so many. These are all benefits, guys. These are all benefits you will be getting with GitHub student pack, GitHub student developer student, GitHub student developer pack. And all these are like the amazing benefits. You can work on different technologies for free. If you want to host your personal portfolio, you have namecheat.com. You can get there are some extensions for, they'll do not directly give .com, but you can get for example, you can get a .me extension. For example, akashmalareddy.me, a website will be hosted like for personal branding. And name.com, in name.com you will get one name.com, for example akashmalareddy.com for 1 year for free. And .tech, unicorn sig.tech, unicorn sig.tech. So these all things will get .tech domain for 1 year free, and free email account as well, professional email account, so that we can keep ourselves updated. For example, if you are using professional email, how will it will look like is akashmalareddy@unicornsig.tech. So in this way you will get professional email as well by using this. And this is the end from my side, guys. Thank you, and I'm open for questions. Yeah. Akhil, if we have some questions, we can take up those questions. Akhil, am I audible? I'm done with my presentation. If there are any questions, you can shoot out to me.
Yes, sir, you're audible.
Yeah.
So I guess there is no doubts, I guess.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Cool.
Yes, sir. So thank you, sir. It was a very insightful session from you, and we have learned the basics of the Git and GitHub and the student about the student developer packs. So hope you guys have liked this session. So do check out the Azure Developer Community channel, and if you are having any doubts regarding the open source and GitHub, do check out the. Do feel free to contact the Akash Mallaredi, sir. Yeah. Till then, happy learning.
Yeah, thank you, Akhil.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.